We want only peace with our creators.
Mr. Bates, or can I call you Steve?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Walk us through your 12 hours, which was actually like 9.5 hours.
yeah. I don't know. I was a little nervous because I had never made a flamethrower before, and it was kind of just like idea I thought would be fun, and then I ran out of ideas to do for the competition, so I was like, all right, we're doing a flamethrower, and I never tried it. I just had conceptually had the idea of how it should work, and so I was trying to get it in the first 6 hours to where the pilot light would work, so I could test that and make sure there was no like minor adjustments that needed to be made to that, and that worked. And then it really only took another hour to add the flamethrower part to it, so I finished kind of early, and I'm kind of glad I finished early. I didn't really want to come down to the wire, and yeah, it works great. It works great. I had a lot of testing because I couldn't just make it and then at the end try it, because there's too many variables to it not working at all. So I kind of just stopped early, got it out of the oven, and tried it, and it just happened to work right the first time. You want that again? It's kind of wind. Yeah, it works good. I think we achieved maximum flame length there just a few minutes ago outside. I think the 8 feet or so.
So we spent some time together in the morning, the day of the competition started, and I noticed you had a couple of beers. You think that helped a little bit?
Yeah, I was a little shaky, so I decided that beer would help, and it did. It did. Yeah. I had a beer this morning as well. Yeah, exactly. You know, proper preparation is key.
So of course, this being a competition with people watching it, there's a performance aspect to what's going on. You feel like you got that one kind of wrapped up, or?
I don't know. I mean, people seem to like it. I don't think I was totally 100% on this trip, but I mean, I've done demos and stuff I felt better at, but I'm really happy with the piece, and people seem to be into how it went together.
It seems to me your performance isn't quite over yet. You're going to fire that thing up a few more times.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of butane burn. Yeah, I'm going to have butane bill.
Short of another competitor setting themselves on fire, I think you might take the performance over.
Yeah, we can find different things to set on fire later on, I think that'll be beneficial.
Nice.
That was all of it.
That was all of it?
Yeah.
That was a great video.
Here we are with Erik. I just want to say congratulations first.
Thanks.
Let's talk about the competition. Walk us through your 12 hours.
I came here with a piece in mind and pretty much cruised through the first 4 hours, and then the bottom cracked and tried to repair it. Wasn't really happening, so I decided to scrap that. And that was immediately I started making it all over again with a couple things changed. And that was the end of the first night. So I had time to think about what I was going to do the second day, what I was going to change. Came back, finished that piece up, and I made what I wanted to.
We spoke a little bit about what happened earlier and why that may have cracked. You want to elaborate on that a little bit for us?
It's probably a whole bunch of elements. It could have been one of my welds. It could have been the color. It could have been how the flame atmosphere affected the color. It could have been the pressures of each propane and oxygen. Could have been the density of the heat in the kiln. So many elements, but I didn't fight it, you know. What happened and started over. Well, there's no safety net.
You really seem, you were cool, calm, and collected though. You handled it like a champ, so.
Thanks. I can't wait to, you know, spend the rest of the week here and see what else is made. It's going to be some good stuff. As far as competitions go, I did Champs last August, which is 2010. And that was a 3-person team, which is completely different. It's totally different things to worry about and think about and plan for. But both are also nerve-wracking. The Pipe Classic is more like being at home. It's more relaxed. There's less rush. Although when I was actually, you know, I've come here previously and, you know, felt out the vibe of this place, and it's really nice, which made me want to do it. But once you're competing, there is a little bit, you know, there's another level of insanity. Little sleep, planning, trying to make I made the piece a few times before I came here.
Thanks for sharing with us, Erik Anders.
Right on.
I'm here with Hickory. Nice to meet you.
How's it going?
Good, good.
And
so, can you walk us through your 12 hours, please?
well, I guess the first part starts out with a bunch of prep, getting my tube cane made up, and found that very relaxing, kind of getting me in the groove. It's that thing you do every day, so it was very meditative for me to do that for the first 2 hours. So it gets the nerves down a little bit, starts relaxing and getting into the groove, and then just making up the main body of my pipe, the pieces with the color, getting those pieces made and shaped, because glass that sits in the kiln for 2 days looks a lot different than glass that sits in the kiln for 1 day. So it all needs to be made that first day and kind of all kiln together to give it the right look to everything. And then first day was pretty much straightforward. Building stuff, a little heavy, a little hot, but nothing too technical. Second day was definitely the opposite. It was all technical, very hot, very heavy, and it went well. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. It's held together. It didn't hit the floor. All the components are there, and then some. So pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I have to say you seemed very comfortable. You seemed like you had a plan.
I did have a plan. Yep. I knew I was going to make a tube since last year. It's changed throughout the year. Many different ways of creating a perk chamber. I guess that's how I was envisioning the tube and how to pull off a perk chamber that looks natural, that flows, that isn't awkward, and that is kind of organic. And that's what I've been working on a lot, is creating this perk chamber. And
carries your aesthetic.
Right, to give it, yeah, to complement the wood. I guess I played around with different tree perks, trying to create different trees inside there, and everything I created didn't quite look the way I envisioned it. And getting that tree up inside the clear and having that all work properly, it wasn't working. I couldn't get the tree to do a tree perk to do what I wanted it to do until I just thought about mushrooms, because I always make mushroom pieces too. It's kind of a part of what I do with the trees. I put trees and mushrooms. So once I thought mushrooms, it just kept going, and then it just all led to that. And, probably at least a dozen different mushroom perk chambers tested. And a few of these tested also. And today's the first day I actually completed the piece successfully. So, wow. Yeah, and that's at I had a few little accidents here and there along the way to practicing, but.
So did anything in particular go wrong during your heat?
Well, I had a few little hiccups, I guess. I guess working with a blow hose is not that all too familiar with how I work. I'm usually offhand with everything, so working with a blow hose is a little tricky getting that. So when I connected the two main connections together, that last base to the top with the perk chamber, put it together, stretched it out, puffed out a little bit on the clear more than I'd like it to have, and kind of moved a little bit, but I think it's really just a matter of being that much more familiar with that blow hose and having that connection to the piece, and you're kind of disconnected working that section because you're blowing into it here and what's happening is there, and that's not usually how I work. Usually what I do is here and it's there, so it
doesn't feel the same.
It doesn't feel the same,
right?
And the hose is so small that you got to push that pressure in there to make that big thing happen. And yeah, so that was about the only hiccup I had, and other than that, I think everything went according to plan. So I'm pretty happy about that. I feel really privileged to be here and be a part of the Pipe Classic. I think that this event is like none other that I know. Don't get out too much, so. But yeah, it's awesome. It brings all these pipe blowers together, and it's very intimate, and we really are able to share in each other's experience while we work. Even just being separated across the room, we know what the other people are doing and where they're at with their projects, and it's quite a lot of energy. It's pretty awesome, and yeah, thank these guys for putting it on.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you, Hickory.
Thank you.
Yeah. More time.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we're here with SaKiBoMb. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes. How are you today?
Good, how about you?
Good, good. So you pretty much just finished up with the competition. Walk us through your 12 hours.
I didn't plan it that well, so it was really hard. So yeah, some stuff went good and then some stuff went bad. So got cracked, I had to fix it, change the plans as always. But overall, it went good.
So you had to change your plans, but you were ready for that. You knew it might happen. And
No.
No, you didn't know it might happen?
I didn't know it might happen. I suddenly changed my plan and then started making something that I didn't plan it, and I messed it up. And I decided to make something else because only got 12 hours to go. So I didn't want to waste any of the preps that I've done.
Right. But in the end, you have some finished work, you have some successful pieces for the competition. Okay, we're looking forward to seeing it. And you're kind of known for this kitschy, fun food style.
And the food and everything. And other stuff, I pretty much make whatever that I would like to have, I would like to own. So I really love when somebody look up my stuff and then like laugh about it or something like that, stuff like that. So I think that's what I'm going for.
Your glass is fun.
I want people to laugh.
It's funny?
It's funny.
Would you say it's hilarious?
It's funny. Like more than a smile.
Would you
like
say it's
laugh.
hilarious though?
Hilarious?
Oh, nice.
Nice?
Ah.
Okay, I did good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Okay, thank you, SaKiBoMb.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you too. That's so funny. He asked me how to pronounce it.
So I'm here with Mclamb. Nice to meet you.
You too.
I have to ask you about this first. Flash dance? Is that like
electric drill explosion? Putting the torch together. Yeah. Ouch. Propane went through the drill, caught my hand on fire.
So did you work your whole piece with that damage and thus the bandage?
Yeah.
way to push through, man.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Okay, so injury before starting aside, walk us through your 12 hours.
Well, I knew the first 6 I had to build something that would be a component to my wing for the bird that I'm making, but it had to be functional but yet strong, so I had to make it first instead of making the piece first, which kind of made me have to crunch out as fast as I could make the solid work. So it was kind of pressure on to make a non-functional thing for the first 6 hours to sit here and try to crunch out a functional thing in the last 6 hours. So it was a tight balance, something I wasn't really used to, but had fun with it.
So you really pushed the time constraint then?
On me, something I'm not used to, because I'd rather have a functional piece and then work on the extra stuff, but the way this went, I had to work on the extra stuff and then finish with a functional piece.
Right.
So
I noticed you had a lot of people doing a lot of guessing in the beginning. There was a very mysterious part in the beginning of what you were doing. We had all those rods and the jig.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that? Did you think about, you know, being mysterious and getting people guessing? Or
well, I knew that people would want to know what it is at first because it looks so random with a bunch of lines going through it, but mainly it was just for my benefit. There's no way to weld, you know, there's 160 welds in both wings, and there's no way to do that really by hand without a jig. At the same time, you know, it was kind of funny having people guess. I didn't really expect that though, but definitely fed into it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
So what, if anything, went wrong, and talk about that and maybe why, and just, you know, dealing with the competition?
Sure. I didn't practice both my jigs, and one of my jigs I didn't file down, and it was letting rods slip, so I had to do a lot of fine tuning and adjusting. I knew the wings are going to have a few stress cracks just because of the tension of being pulled both ways and stuff, so that's why I had to finish them first day. So I fixed some of that, and that was a little troubling, and then I had a little trouble with my inline in the very end, but I'm still going to be able to fix that up in time. So it all went well, but really tightened the schedule.
Okay, so I understand, based on what you've said, that there's sort of a surprise that's to be revealed later with your work that sort of plays into what you're known for. Some of this, I don't want to give away too much, but...
Yeah, I mean, we can use the word kinetic. I explore that a lot with things I do, so it's fun to do it, and I want to do something I've never done before and never really seen before, so...
So does that, is that going to involve some like audience participation then, or is that?
Yeah, anyone can involve. It's interactive and it's strong, and that's why the welds were really important. And I was really kind of fickling about that. You know, the bird was secondary to the actual structure of the piece. So.
Okay, so we're here with Josh Oppendocker. Nice to meet you for the first time.
Gene?
So we're just fresh off. You just finished up your competition. Let's walk us through your 12 hours.
At first everything was flowing pretty good. I'd practiced the piece before, so I kind of knew what direction I was going to go. I just wasn't sure on how big I was going to go. I went extremely big. I didn't prepare well enough to bring prepared color, so I had to make my own colors, so that was an unaccounted for 2 hours of just mixing color. That kind of put me behind schedule, which created frustration, which created anxiety for the time that I didn't account for 2 hours of mixing color. First day was great, everything went pretty smooth, and then today just everything kind of fell apart. I went extremely big for me. I was hitting the exhaust a lot, the hood. I hit the table a couple times, couple cracks. couple burns, some blood was spilt.
Nice. So when you say hitting the table, hitting the vent hood, you mean like the space of the
extremities of the piece I was working on. It had 4 arms, 4 legs, and they extended out in these odd positions. So the distance between the top of the table and the hood itself became part of my downfall. I don't want to blame other things. I mean, I take the blame. I messed up.
Right.
I went too big. I didn't prepare the color correctly. But because it was so big, I had to angle it different ways. I couldn't get the angle on the flame I wanted. I hit the exhaust and broke 2 legs off. That put me behind schedule. So it was just a lot. And then every time you make a mistake, it kind of creates a little more anxiety, which builds upon more anxiety. And a clock in your face is never a good thing, because I wasn't taking long enough heat for the piece in the kiln, and I was working on it too much out of the kiln because of time constraints. So yeah, messed up.
It sounds to me like what you're like, all these things you're talking about come down to the fact that you have a competition going on, and you are thus going bigger. You know,
yeah.
Give yourself a better chance. You have to deal with this, you know, the parameters of the station that you're not used to.
Yeah.
And it's all sort of comes together to be like this results in the pressure.
Yes.
You know, that the competition embodies. And
yeah, and it really depends on how well you can deal with that pressure. Obviously, I can't deal with it that well yet, but well, there's always next year.
It seems like it's like it depends. It could go this way for anybody. You know,
yeah.
It's like, but you go for it because it's the Pipe Classic.
Yeah, and I had a great time, and you know, I'm proud of what I did. I thought it was good to go big and go out of your comfort zone, and I just took it to an extreme level of that, and that became part of my downfall. It's good to push yourself, but it's also good to know your limits, you know what I mean? And yeah, I could have made it and pulled it off this size, you know, but that's not impressive, you know?
That's what she said.
That is what she said.
All right. Well, hey, great
yeah.
Great talking to you. Thanks for letting us know.
Thanks,
what's up.
thanks, guys. Yeah,
right.
Thank you.
All right, so D-Rack isn't able to come. We have to solve the problem. Seems quite fitting. We have Chris and Luke in here. So the only gentlemanly way to settle this is with coin flip.
What are you choosing?
Luke goes, tails, Chris goes. It's heads! What do you know?
I was gonna say tails too, so it's good thing you picked that for me.
Lost.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right.
Is this some sort of vision? Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, I know you were not supposed to be part of the competition, but you kind of got thrown at the last minute. Walk us through your 12 hours.
Yeah, that's true. I wasn't supposed to be part of the competition. I got added on at the last minute because Erik couldn't make it. You know, and I kind of came in with a rib injury, and that kind of slowed me down a little bit. But you know, because I didn't have any time to prepare and you know wasn't planning on being here to compete, it kind of took a lot of the pressure off in a way. I was able to kind of just go for it and maybe make something that I wouldn't have tried that the way I did. I had like a basic idea, but it was a piece I had never made, and so I just kind of ran with it and ended up doing pretty good. I feel like I kind of had some concepts that I added at the last minute, like while I was going through.
Okay, wow, sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds like you really had a good time. You know, things went pretty good. I have to say, you're quite the handsome man. I didn't realize. I'd heard a lot of stuff about you, but just wanted to say.
Yeah, you know, I appreciate it. You're not so bad yourself, Gene.
So, how do you feel about the Pipe Classic and the Bern Gallery in general?
Oh man, I love the Pipe Classic. Love the Bern Gallery. This event, you know, represents kind of a turning point for me. When I did it the first time, it set me up to try some stuff I never would have tried, and that kind of progressed to this competition, and is really what my piece is about. You know, it's about reaching for something that is a little further than what you've been able to get to before, and I just kind of did my best to do that.
All right. Well, hey, it was great talking to you. Thanks for taking the time. Have a good rest of your trip.
Yeah. Thank you. Good talking to you too.
So we're here with Dosh.
Yo, my man. Cheers.
Did I pronounce it correctly?
You did, actually. Doshworld.
Nice. I saw your stickers all over the place.
Oh, indeed. Yes.
One of them had a U, though, instead, so I wasn't sure if I was saying it right.
That could...
So you just finished up your 12-hour heat?
Yes, yeah, 12 hours. It's funny too. I've been really watching my time and when it's on the torch and considering it. I know a lot of us spend like a lot of time on and off the torch and time drifts by, but I've been considering how much I can get done in hours, and I surprised myself. Absolutely.
You did good. Yeah, it sounds like you're really happy with how it went.
I feel I mean, a lot of us, like, we're time benders in that sense. Like, when you really start to feel the medium and working the flame. I was having a discussion with one of the other artists prior to the competition. I was saying, like, I'll be caught where I'm just over, like, heating. I'm like, God, this is taking so long, you know, and then you end up getting it too hot because you're paying attention to too many things. But, like, when you really hone in on the medium, like, we know, you just start to, it dances for you, you know? It's like you set the fire, you get the light, and it moves. It was
away with words.
Oh man, it was a good session. I mean, all in all, I'm really happy with the way things came out. I feel like I just put no expectations ahead of myself, and you know, just listen to the class. And
nice. So, was there any point when things went a little wrong, or did you have any trouble with the station or the aspects of it that are involved with competition? You know, the sort of stuff you can't do anything about?
Yeah, you know, and I love that aspect about it, and I've been training in that for a while, and there was definitely some times I tapped the hoods and whatnot, you know, and I had a little bit longer handle. I definitely thought to myself, maybe I should have shrunk that up, but then still, it's nice to throw back and choke up on the piece, you know, or there were times that I'd set the handle on my hip so I could feel the weight, you know, so every time that I brought the piece out, I considered the entire thing, because also I had my water bucket, and I like ceramic because of the way the glass breaks off on it, but then also that, you know, bringing a piece around on that. I mean, having the hood, the tin gave me a little bit of leeway, but having those kind of objects in the metal base of my torch, it definitely, I mean, I'm thinking in that whole 3-dimension when the piece comes out. But at one point when I was putting the bowl and the down stem, or the split part that was going on, my seal cracked off and the bowl fell on the ground. And it was a cut and flip disc, so I just heated up a piece of 5mm and tagged the top where I'd cut it off, so it really didn't matter, and just slapped it back on. And I found, I mean, I've had moments where something went wrong and I was like, you know, like taking a moment, thinking, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, but it definitely, like, I've seen a lot of the warriors in the field, you know, like if you move quick with that moment, you know, and don't, you know, it might break rules for you, like, oh, it cracked and I don't know how to deal and move with that, but just to like move forward with it, and I mean, it takes practice and practice and practice, but.
You mean you just, where otherwise you might hesitate and think about it, you just act and it works out a lot of times.
Absolutely, like move. Like if you get a crack, like, I mean, even when you're heating something, if you're watching how it's being heated, then it's taking too long. Like it's an intuition. Like you'll move the heat into the glass, and it's like if you pay attention to what's happening, you'll almost miss the moment, because glass is so in the moment that you just have to be like ahead and with it and like intuitive with it the whole time. So I feel like in that break, I was able to meditate that. And I actually had a crack too that went up into the disc later on that. One of those cracks where you're like, ooh, this could be really bad. I even almost started remaking the piece, but I put it back in the kiln, and I wanted to fix it right there, and I knew it was too cold, and I got it back in the kiln and ramped it up to 1100 and brought the hand torch out, and you use that discipline, and it definitely it worked out. But at that same time too, I feel the glass gods were smiling upon me. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
All right, well, sounds like you're having a good time. Things went well.
I love it.
All right.
Yeah.
Say hi and bye to Mr. Nibbles.
Oh, Lucy, beautiful.
No, Mr. Nibbles.
Mr. Nibbles.
Give him some kisses. Give some kisses. Okay. Cut.
Oh man, I was talking and talking and talking. I hope that's okay.
So here we are with the worm.
How's it going?
Not bad, not bad. So you just finished up your competition leg. Tell us about your 12 hours.
It was 12 hours.
Yeah?
It's pretty long.
You timed it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Or they did for me. I don't know. I mean, I worked.
Yeah.
Got it done.
Did you come into this competition with a plan?
Yes.
Yeah, you practiced a little bit?
Yep, I did a couple dry runs.
Nice, nice. And so how did it go compared to your practice, your dry runs? Did things kind of go as planned?
Pretty much. I mean, some stuff took a little longer and slowed me down a little bit, but other than that, pretty much the same.
I mean, you were working on something fairly large too, so that there's always like some
something cracks.
There, right?
You're just done.
And what about, you know, there's parameters that are different than your shop because it's competition, you're outside of your comfort zone. Did that ever come into play in a negative way or a positive way?
I mean, negative, positive. You can look at it both ways. I mean, I definitely took up a lot of space in that small area. Went back and forth and moved around. So.
You weren't like banging into anything? The kiln didn't give you any trouble or anything?
No, the kiln was hot and in your face, but other than that.
Okay. So it seems like it went pretty smooth for you then. You're happy with it. Now how about the Bern Gallery and the Pipe Classic all together? Like, how do you feel about this competition?
I like the way it was kind of broken up, so there's not a bunch of people going at once. It's kind of fun to like get to watch some of your friends work while they're doing their stuff too.
Right.
And Bern Gallery kicks ass. I mean, I've been here once before. They're good place to come hang out.
I like it too. So do you have a name for your piece?
I don't know. I was thinking about calling it Life.
Life?
Life.
You must have a nice life.
Yep, I try.
All right. Well, the Worm, thanks for talking to us.
All right.
Definitely. Have a good rest of the trip. Right?
You got it, man.
For the action now, danger boy, ready if I'm ready for you, danger boy, ready for the action now, danger boy, ready if I'm ready for you, danger boy, ready for the action now, danger boy, ready if I'm ready for you, danger boy, ready for the action now, danger boy, ready for the action now, danger boy, ready for the action now,
Here we are with Adam Grafus, 5 Gs, G stacks, a man of many names. So how are you doing, first of all?
Doing good. A little bit sunburnt here.
Yeah?
Not too psyched about that right now.
Yeah. What's up with sunscreen on?
I was meant to ask Dosher because Dosher's got this really nice sunscreen that he likes, and I meant to ask him about it, but I forgot both days.
That sunscreen you got from the moon?
Yeah, it's some Super Warlock Burning Man sunscreen.
Right.
Something like that.
Well, you just finished up with your competition piece, right? You want to walk us through that, or?
Yeah, day one pretty much went pretty smooth. You know, me and Dellene are rocking out some good jams, some DJ Ozone mix, some various Hall & Oates that that guy Salt put on, and all sorts of different stuff. Good jams, we're jamming out good. Come 30 seconds till the finish, I went to put on the second part of the crossbow, and was just kind of heating it up and adjusting it so that the strings would come back together and be perfect rather than angled, and just kind of got a little bit too cold, must have pressed on a little bit too hard, snapped off. It wasn't welded in yet, I just put it on there. Snapped off, fell onto the rubber mat, bounced off that, crashed onto the tile floor and broke. And with 30 minutes left, I didn't really have enough time to reconstruct both of the dark amethyst pieces and put it back on and do all the strings. So I stepped outside, took a little safety break, got my stuff together, and decided to go back in there and just finish it off since I was so close to being done with it. Just because, you know, the whole time it looked like a big crazy gun of some sort, and you know, until the absolute end, nobody really knew it was a crossbow. So I wasn't about to just rip off the other arm and make it a gun, even though it was already a functioning piece since yesterday. It just wasn't really what I would have been happy with entering or even being seen. So I kind of just, you know, didn't go ahead and enter a finished piece rather than finishing up on my piece and making it how I wanted it to be. So
you gave up?
Essentially giving up, yes, if that's, you know.
What I'm hearing is that you have a very specific set of parameters for your aesthetic, right? You decided this is how I want my piece to look, this is what I'm making, and you weren't ready to compromise or have it be anything less than that.
Right.
And I think we all can respect you for that, you know?
Yep.
Bold move.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a bold move to try to make what you were making in the first place. I watched a little bit of it, you know, I don't know much about lamp working on Gene Shallot's Doppelganger, so just coming out of nowhere, but it seemed to me that what you were doing was difficult. It had some style, maybe the style of your own.
I'm definitely, you know, I've been in a couple 12, 14-hour flame offs, and I've never got that much work done, I don't feel like, in something like that. So I was happy with my progress, and I do feel possibly if that wouldn't have busted off, I would have been really, really close to getting it finished. I probably would have had to cut a couple corners on, you know, doing two things at once in one heat, but I think I would have been pretty down to the line on possibly getting it finished. So
I noticed that while you're working, you really kind of get into the groove, you move around, you do a lot of like this type of stuff, and you know, we can't hear the music that's going through your headphones. To the rest of us, it kind of looks like you have to go to the bathroom all the time. Like, is that part of the show, or you just...
mostly I go for stuff with a certain groove. It doesn't matter what the song is. If it's got a good line to it that gets you moving, I'll listen to it. As you saw by some of the embarrassment songs that came on when I played it on the big time. But yeah, I don't know. Just all about getting into the groove and shit, doing my thing. It's you know, it's something that I got quite a while ago, and it's actually a gaming thing, but it's like a triple reverse counterweight, if that makes any sense.
Oh, no,
it's
it
got,
totally does, yeah.
Because it registers with the gaming system, and it's got things that move inside of it and counterweight back, and you can control that. So I'm basically just controlling it back to balance my hand while doing like finer detail things so you don't, you know, don't mess up. But it's kind of, you know, it's just one of those things that, I don't know, just kind of came to mind, and tried it out, and it seemed to work good, especially in competitions when, you know, sometimes, you know, you get a little bit shakier than if you're at home just relaxing, listening to some Steely Dan.
Well, hey, I mean, hey, thanks for taking some time with us, Mr. G-Stacks. Is that
Yep.
right? Okay, cool. Well, hey, you have a good rest of your trip.
All right. Thanks, Arthur.
Yeah.
Peace, love, and dichro. No.
Miss Dellene Peralta. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hanging. Yeah, I'm Gene Shallow's doppelganger.
Oh,
So,
nice to meet you.
Yeah, we haven't met.
Okay.
So I just thought we would take this moment that we were here up on the top of this balcony here in Burlington, Vermont, to talk about your 12-hour experience of lamp working in a competitive sense during the Pipe Classic.
Oh, the Pipe Classic is really awesome. It's a really good time. Competing is always hard and difficult because you're in a time frame. You're out of your element, you're out of your studio. You forgot things, you have all these other different things to do, so it's definitely difficult for any flame off. This one's super fun because it's small and it's quaint, and it's just really good time with a lot of good people.
What about this experience in particular? Did you forget some stuff? Did some stuff
yeah.
go wrong? I mean, walk us through like this actual competition.
I definitely packed at the last minute on barely any sleep, and definitely forgot some stuff. But I met the challenges of not bringing those things and worked them all out. And that's what, you know, when you come to a competition, you don't bring everything, you know, or whatever type of thing happens, it falls apart, it cracks. There's so many different variables that can happen in a flame off.
Did you practice this piece? Did
No.
you run through?
I did not practice.
So this was a first time through.
First time through.
And I noticed you kind of spoke that you leaned more towards the conceptual end of things. Was that, you know, is that a move that you make because this is what you really wanted to make, or were you trying to, like, you know, Terry votes for a certain group?
Well,
or?
for me, it's nice to make a really pretty pipe. It is. Like, I make them all the time, every day, you know. But when I make a pipe or a sculpture with some kind of meaning or point to it, it makes me feel a lot better. You know, it makes me feel like I'm trying to convey some type of message instead of, oh, that's pretty. Well, the piece itself I chose was the Masons and their whole weird little trip that they have going on, and their Templar Knights, or I really don't know a whole lot. I only know a little bit, but it's really secretive, and that's why I made the cage. So they cage in all this knowledge that they don't share with anybody else, and they're hooked to it. So that was, I made the man with the bricks on his feet, because they're masons. They're builders. They build in stone, and they trap knowledge into it. So. Into themselves and their little group.
That's interesting. While you're saying that, it reminds me of you know, earlier in this scene, I've been told, because I'm not a lamp worker, that people were more secretive and guarded their knowledge, but now it seems people share their knowledge more, and that maybe these competitions are kind of a measure of that.
Definitely. It definitely brings people out of their studios to come do what they do, and to show everybody what they do, and that's, we're demoing is what we're doing, what we do every day. So, and we're trying to do it in a time constraint, and then like challenge our friends, which is not so fun all the time, but it's a flame off. So.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. Here, cheers. Let's get our beers in the air here for a moment. with HAMM. I'm gonna shake your hand, please. Nice to meet you. So, I understand you just finished up your 12 hours of competition. Would you mind
12 grueling hours of competition.
Grueling hours. So it was tough. It was.
It was tough.
Draw upon your
my deep inner strength.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Nice. So do you mind walking us through that a little bit?
Well, it was a last-minute plan that I hadn't practiced, and so I was already a little nervous about the outcome. And you know, I'm fearless about these things, though. I do this all the time. It's not a big deal. But I arrived, got my groove on. 5 minutes in, stop everything! Violation of the rules. It's true. But there was miscommunication and I hadn't received the full list of rules. So there went my groove. No longer on track.
Was there like an actual record scratching sound at that moment?
There was,
Because I was imagining
it resounded through the venue, and yeah.
Okay.
It was, and it was an immediate halt to all groove that I had acquired.
Maybe that wasn't.
Have my whole list of emails that
Maybe that wasn't the best way for us to communicate.
From you right here. Like, this is all the emails I've ever gotten from you.
Yeah, so maybe email is just not the way for it to communicate in the future. You know, just straight phone calls until we all get each other, because this is extremely important.
Yeah, what a shitty spot. Like, this is shitty for all of us.
Yeah,
right?
It really is. So basically there was a mix-up with communication before the event with HAMM. We send out guidelines, we also have updates, but sometimes email is not the best way to do it. We should have probably you know, used phone calls so that we're absolutely certain that everybody gets every rule and every update. But luckily we did come up with a solution which basically takes this piece and puts it back at square one, so it's not really like he is coming with the pre-made tubing with different colors on the outside, which is a really firm pipe classic rule. All pre-made tubing must be one color on the outside. Double dipping is fine because that's still one color on the outside. HAMM actually had a tube cane, fully lined tube cane with two different colors. HAMM had a good idea which would basically bring him back to square one, so he would cover up essentially the second color, so it would be as if he came with a tube which was all one color on the outside. So the committee has to vote, of course, like everything, and then it looks like HAMM should be able to start up again.
But it sounded like you're starting to say that you worked through that.
Oh yeah, a good solution was found. It was fair for everyone involved. It was nothing but a miscommunication, and so the resolution was good and easy. But it did throw a hitch into my thing. And then, you know, work went about like usual. It was hard to get music the first day, and they had very bad music in the back. All went great. My plan was more difficult than I thought. I was worried about not meeting my deadline. Today I was definitely worried about not meeting the time frame. And everything was going good with lots of cracks and disappointments and, you know, normal glass blowing. And then at the very end everything went to shit. Cracks everywhere. Definitely not going to make it in the time span, if it's doable at all. And it was great. I had to turn the music up and dance more, and conquered all the cracks with a minute to spare.
So it sounds like it started off rough, you got in the groove, worked it out, things were going well, things went horribly wrong.
Which is well.
Things going horribly wrong as well?
Well, it's part of the normal day, but...
It's at least... what you're saying is it went horribly wrong and it looked like you didn't have enough time and yet you made it happen.
But that's the good part right there.
Right.
When your work goes as you planned, there's really no thrill in that at all. I find that when everything goes to shit and the cracks are growing and spreading, that's when I'm excited about what I'm doing. And that's when I get my groove on.
The thrill of the hunt.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Put them together for that real quick there.
Thanks for coming, everybody. This is the biggest crowd for Pipe Classic ever. And before we get started, I have to thank our sponsors, Glassworks Technologies, who's believed in it, and since day one, and to the Hitman Glass crew. All right, also, one of our sponsors, Formula 420 and the big family of companies, just kicked down $15,000 in additional sponsorship. Yeah. And it's all going to go directly to the competitors. All 12 competitors get a one-page ad in the big industry guide. Also, the top 3 finishers will actually also, in addition to that, get a booth at the big industry show with a room. So pretty sick. All right, so let's get right to it. Third place in Pipe Classic 6, winning a Sidewinder by Glassworks Technologies, Dozier.
These things. I love you all. Thank you so much. You are all so beautiful. It's amazing.
All right, now for second place. Glassworks Technologies actually decided to debut a brand new torch at Pipe Classic. It's going to be the Phantom Hand Torch. Oh, yeah. All right, so second place. Matt Mclamb.
Well done, man.
who also had the worst injury of Pipe Classic history ever. Yeah, before his set even started, and he bared down through the pain. It was beautiful. All right, so now before we get to the winner, we always do a Glassblower's Choice every year, too. So we got to present the Glassblower's Choice Award, where all 12 competitors vote on their favorite piece. And you don't win shit, but it definitely feels good. And the winner of that, Steve Bates. All right, and the winner of Pipe Classic 6, who wins Glassworks Technologies Delta Mag, Vermont's very own Hickory.
Are you fucking kidding me?
All right, Pipe Classic 6, everybody. Thank you. Also, anybody interested in the pieces, we're going to have a live auction at the Bern Gallery at about 8 o'clock, so make your ways back over there. We won't be ready by then. All right, guys, thank you so much. Your winners, Pipe Classic 6.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Bern Gallery. You guys have been there for me from the beginning. When Michaela's telling me my carb holes are a little wobbly, and my bowls need to be a little bit bigger, this goes back a long ways. Thank you very much. Fuck yeah. Have some windbreakers for sale later. Call it.
We want only peace without greed.
What are they doing? Can you cuff her?
No.
Just cut. Just do it once. We don't mind. Michaela's in the car. Get it. Put it in front of Burlington Police so I get that picture. Down. There you go. Awesome. Awesome. Get it back in there. Get it back in there. Wait, swing on.
These are priceless photo ops right here. Hold on, what up?
That's pretty cool, man. I think maybe the best figure out the house. Oh, the cloud.
All right, so here we are with Miss Dellene Peralta. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Doppelganger.
Okay, cut.
Well, you didn't
Doppelganger
say
is a word that describes someone who
No,
looks like someone else.
What was it called? What did you say? You said something else.
Leave the jokes to me, okay? That's probably best.
All right.
Okay, one more time.
One more time,
We
Chris.
already just
Oh, goodness. Gosh.
So, I chase so much crack, I feel like an addict.
That's funny, because I was like, is it two T's or an I-E?
I think everyone here would have spelled it with two.
Also, I normally have a sound op that knows what the hell he's doing. Point that thing up and down. There you go.
Alright. Ready?
Yep.
So,
Jeff, you ready?
Alright?
Huh?
Don't complicate things, alright?
All right.
Okay, everybody ready?
Make sure you talk up a little bit. It's loud out here.
Talking up. How's that? Check. Testes. 1, 2, 3.
Did you wear that for every interview?
Every single one.
It's consistency.
Okay, we ready?
Yep.
Okay, you're not gonna clap me in?
I like that. Clap. Yeah, you can.
We're
Cut.
You didn't take a sip, dude.
I can't. My fucking mustache. I don't want hair.
Hold on. Put that back on.
You should have. Just. What time is it?
No, it's too complicated. All right, we're ready to go.
Whoa there.
Whoa
Hey, Spike
there.
Jones, take it easy, all right? Okay, you ready?
What are you gonna ask?
Okay, so we're here with Saki